सर्वे संतु निरामया, सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु, मा कश्चित् दुख भवेत् bhav. May all be happy, may all be free from illness, may all see only goodness, and may none suffer. In the heart of Bharat, where wisdom flows through ancient chants and silent prose, where Gyan is not just learned but lived, and knowledge is soulfully, reverently received. We gather today to honor that light that turns the mind inward and the future bright. Namaste, good morning, and a very warm welcome to each one who's present here. With folded hands and open hearts, I welcome you to the auspicious inauguration of the Bharatiya Gyan Parampara Kendra, the center of Indian knowledge system at Galgotias University. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for this huge initiative. This is not just the unveiling of a center, it is the invocation of an eternal legacy, a space that will honor our Vedic wisdom, our sacred sciences, our timeless philosophies, and integrate them into modern education with soul and purpose. It is a privilege and sheer delight to welcome the revered spiritual guide, author, and global humanitarian, Daaji, the guide of Heartfulness Institute. Ladies and gentlemen, your applause should be no less than thunder to welcome the eminent personality that we have amongst us. And we are equally honored by the presence of our Honorable Chancellor, Sri Sunil Galgotias sir, and our honorable and dynamic leader, CEO, Dr. Dhruv Galgotias sir, to mark his presence, and all the other dignitaries who have graced this auspicious occasion with their august presence. We are absolutely thankful for your gracious presence at this remarkable moment today. To mark the moment of grace, I now kindly invite Honorable Chancellor sir and Honorable CEO sir to please come forward and facilitate our Honorable Daaji present here. Students are requested to kindly assist. Ladies and gentlemen, a symbol of our love, honoring with our university's deepest respect. Please, can we have a huge round of applause? This is a moment of reverence and regard, marking the culture of the university. Thank you so much, sir. And now, sir, may I request you to kindly be there. And as we move forward, we also mark the official and significant milestone of the signing of the MOU and the unveiling of the CIKS plaque. Post this. So please accept a token of love, reverence, and sheer regard on behalf of the university. We are grateful for your presence. And now, can we please proceed towards the MOU signing and also the unveiling of the plaque? Ladies and gentlemen, an auspicious moment, embodying our commitment to exploring the timeless treasures of Indian heritage through research, education, and practice. Indeed, a moment to revere and cherish. Give it up, ladies and gentlemen, as the unveiling of the plaque takes place. What a remarkable moment. Thank you so much, sir. And now we can proceed to the MOU signing ceremony. Indeed, a momentous occasion that embodies our commitment to the culture and heritage and the vast legacy our country has. And as the MOU takes place, ladies and gentlemen, we are all blessed to be witnessing this moment. And it's done. And can we have a huge round of applause for the marking of a spectacular job? Thank you so much. You can take your seats. Thank you so much. And ladies and gentlemen, as we proceed with the session, to shed light on the essence of this center and the path we envision ahead, may I now invite Daaji to address the audience, share his nuggets of wisdom, and bless us with his honorable words. So the stage is yours, the audience is yours. Let us have the grace of hearing you.
Thank you. Most respected Galgotia family, all the dignitaries present, faculty, and very dear students. I stand before you because of the Galgotia family's initiative to revive the ancient Indian knowledge system, integrate it with modern, and take it forward. It is not just the maintenance, it is not just the revival, but taking it further, many, many steps ahead. How are we going to achieve that? You, the students, the younger blood of today, I think we have hopes in you to carry on this torch of knowledge and go beyond. Our ancients, they have done their job. Now we have to play our part. You know how these names came about, Dvivedis and Trivedis and Chaturvedis? There was a group of individuals who would maintain the knowledge of Vedas. Those who knew only two Vedas, those who memorized two Vedas and passed on through memory, because we did not have printing presses in olden days, thank God. They were forced to remember. Their brains absorbed that knowledge. Whether they knew the meaning or not, we will not debate on that. But they preserved through a memory system and transferred that knowledge verbally. Now, with the advancement, we are able to retain that knowledge, but it remains on paper. It has not penetrated the minds, nor the heart, nor the living style. Many things over the years, over the centuries, over the millennia, they have been twisted and polluted somehow. When you look at ancient Sanatana Dharma reflected in Vedas and Upanishads, upon whom we take vows and say, I, while keeping my hands on these holy books, I promise that I speak only the truth and nothing but the truth. How many of you have Vedas in your house? Can you raise hands? How many of you have Gita in your house? Quite a number. How many of you have read it? Pure hands. How many of you have understood it? Only one or two hands. My dear students, I have an exercise for you. Read through Gitas, read through Upanishads, read through Vedas, and find me even one mention of temple from our literature. Find out when Pandavas or Kauravas or Raghuvanshis went to any temple. Were there temples? Is there a mention of the word mandir or temple in our ancient holy scriptures? Find out under which epoch, under which time, under which century it began. When did this word mandir came about in our culture? When we go through Vedas and Upanishads, you will find more than 250 times the mention of the word Hridayam. Lord Krishna, a gentleman who raised his hand, I think one of the very rare ones, one or two hands that were raised. When you refer to sloka, adhyay number 10, sloka number 20, and also the 11th sloka of the same chapter, what does the Lord say? He says, I dwell in every heart. He has given his address. I dwell in every heart. When we refer to Vedas and Upanishads, he is known as Antaryamin. And where are we looking these days? Ask yourself, in which directions are you searching that entity we call God? Inward or outward? And when the Lord says, I dwell inward in your heart, and when your search is outside, don't you think you're going wrong somewhere? So we have to revive that original knowledge system. Look within. Hridayam also carries a meaning. Every Sanskrit word carries a meaning. There is no word without a meaning. Rid and Ayam. Rid means what? The heart, the center. Ayam means a dwelling place. Dwelling place for what? Divinity, the Lord, one that gives us life. Whether you call that entity Jiva, or you call that entity Atman, or the soul, or the Ruh, or the life force, does it matter what you call this entity? It really does not matter. But without which you cannot exist. It dwells in our heart. Moment we are born, it's with us. Even before the birth, it has been with us. Imagine a scenario where you are watching or you are delivering a baby. And the first signature of baby's arrival is a cry. Baby begins to cry. That's a sign that life is there. If the baby was not crying, perhaps doctors would go crazy. Nurses would run around to resuscitate this baby, stimulate the heart and lungs so that baby can breathe and cry. It's the first time ever that mother would smile when baby is crying. Rest of the time, mother would cry when babies cry. But that's the only time mother, they would smile. Because the jiva, that Atman had come along. See. It has not gone away from us, without which you cannot even go anywhere. You cannot even wake up. Imagine you go to sleep tonight and it decides to quit. So that life force is within us. The whole exercise of yoga, the spiritual pursuit, is to recognize, to realize that that life force is within me, it is not outside me. Moment you start looking outside, you have picked up a wrong direction. So turn your attention inward. Now I'm going to ask you some questions. How many of you know Gayatri Mantra? Nice. The meaning? None. There are two times where they mention Di and Dimahi. Isn't it? Om Bhurvaha Swaha Tats Viturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Diyo Yona Prachod. The Di is mentioned twice. Dhimahi Diyo Yona. What is this Di in Gayatri Mantra? The meaning is very clear. It's the ultimate wisdom that we are seeking by offering this mantra. Di means ultimate wisdom. Now you put this Di in the word Dhyan. Dhyan word in Sanskrit is made from Di plus Yan. Yan means a vehicle. Di means wisdom. A vehicle that can transport me to the ultimate wisdom is Dhyan. And any time you are using a vehicle, it needs some level of energy input. So, Dhyan, whenever we meditate, it requires external input to propel my consciousness. Target is the ultimate wisdom. The goal is there. There is nothing else esoteric about it. Goal is very simple, that I have to reach that ultimate wisdom, the final realization. It has nothing to do with darshan of so much or such and such an entity. Because even if you have the darshan or the vision of an entity, so whom we call gods or avatars, what will you gain? Suppose Lord Krishna was sitting with you, how much will you know he is sitting with you? Even physically. So many people sat with him in his lifetime, and how many could understand his divinity? No one. He was forced to show himself to Arjun because it was need of the hour. And even when he was showing it, he says, please come back. This is a very scary form. I don't like it. It scares me. So poor Krishna had to roll back, rewind himself back into a friendlier form. So, vision, darshan, unless we are prepared, you will miss it. Only when we arrive at such a system, a plane of consciousness, when you touch the divine plane, only then we will be able to resonate, synchronize with the vibrations of the divinity. Not until then. In the scientific world also, one has to go deep within. Imagine the moments when all these scientists I'm going to portray this on the PowerPoint. You go to the names of scientists and the researches they have come across in their lifetime, starting with known figures like Archimedes. You know how under what situation he found the law of displacement. He was relaxing in a bathtub, absolutely relaxed moment. Sir Newton, Isaac Newton, how did he find gravitational field? What triggered that idea? He was relaxing also under an apple tree. Theory of relativity, Einstein. Again, his wife would complain for spending 2 to 3 hours in a bathroom. He would just spend that time smoking his pipe in the bathroom tub. Mendelian periodic table, Kekule's benzene structure. There's so many examples where we find that all these inventions, breakthroughs in scientific world, they were made when each scientist was at their most calm state, most relaxed state. Our rishis also, if you see, all those scientists like Sushrutas, Dhanvantaris, find the list. I'm displaying some names here. Invention of zeros and decimal system in Indian mathematics, astronomy, algebra, Fibonacci's principles. All these were invented in India. Our rishis, meaning those who led a spiritual life, they had fully integrated scientific life as well. Not only integrating spirituality with the science, but they led a grihastha life, complete full life. So students, faculties, you can also do the research on when did this sannyasa system interjected in Indian culture? When did the downfall of Hindus came about? When was this deviation? And generally, youngsters today do not believe in the ancient system precisely because of that degradation, because whatsoever we are practicing today, it does not convince your heart. On one side, we say God knows everything, yet everything possible that can go wrong, we've been doing that, see. Often people say, yesterday's, the bygone time was glorious. But what is the use if your grandfather was a king and you're a beggar? It's of no use. It would have been better if your grandfather was a beggar and then you are the king today. We want to make sure our progenies, they become not only the spiritual kings and queens, but also much more advanced in the scientific world as well. We have to bridge, we have to integrate science and spirituality. We have to integrate our family life and lead a spiritual life while undergoing that. Most people somehow postpone. They postpone spiritual life for later days. Yesterday, I was discussing things with Mrs. and Mr. Parasar. that what is the point of becoming a spiritual person after 50s or 60s? It will benefit you, no doubt, individually. But will you be able to transmit this knowledge and your genetic makeup to the next generation? You can't conceive any more babies. So sooner you transform your system, spiritually, mentally, physically, and especially at a genetic level. And if you want to bring about a spiritual change at a genetic level, it has to be very intense. Physiologically and biologically, each cell has to be transformed at a spiritual level before you can transmit that genetic code, spiritual genetic code, to the next generation. Otherwise, human degradation will continue as it is. There is no upgrade. There will not be any upgrade at a consciousness level, which helps us develop a faculty of expanded consciousness. Many students, they ask me, what is the purpose of life? Why are we here? So it carries too many questions in one single statement. Why are we here? What is the purpose of life? It's a very serious business. The purpose of life you'll understand as you meditate more and more and see the benefit emerging by meditation. Swami Vivekananda, I'm sure no one here is unfamiliar. He said the only purpose of life is, he would put it this way, that your available consciousness is like a thin film of water. And imagine that this thin film of available consciousness is sandwiched between two giant oceans, one of super consciousness and one of subconsciousness. So we are in a very clumsy situation that what we enjoy with available consciousness is very thin. He said, make it broadband, expand your consciousness from what it is today, like a thin film of water, make it soar higher in sky of super consciousness. Expand it and allow it to dive deeper into the oceans of subconsciousness. How to fly into superconsciousness and how to dive deeper into subconsciousness? It is through meditation and complementary practice we call sacred cleaning. Through these two methods, we are able to somehow widen this consciousness and see how our lives change because of this change in consciousness. As you practice on a daily basis, it will change. I don't want you guys to believe in me. You should become like a scientist. Scientists don't have belief system. They're aggressively and critically looking at every experiment. They don't believe that this will happen or that will happen or that should not happen. Spiritual approach should also be like that. See, when you borrow the knowledge that God is there, we unfortunately continue with this blind belief and we end up satisfying ourselves, that, oh wow, I believe in God and that's enough. No, you're fooling yourself then. See, belief is not enough. If you ask your father or your grandfather or any elders in your family and you ask them a question, do you believe in God? And you know the familiar answers. Why are you asking such a question? Don't you think we believe in God? But when you probe further and ask, why? Why do you believe in God? Then they'll say, oh, we believe because my mother taught me so, our religion says so, our scripture says so. But what about you? Have you experienced it? On what ground are you saying? So, in that context, when atheist says that I don't believe, at least they're very honest. Atheist says I don't believe because I have not felt. They're very honest. But when you say I believe, it's a borrowed and hollow knowledge. There's no meaning at all. It's like a currency without backing. Weak belief. Well, if you satisfy yourself with belief, you will never progress into spirituality. But moment an opportunity arises and you say, oh, now I experience divinity within myself, then belief becomes stronger. Now it has a backing of your personal experience. So that is the promise of spirituality. But then I would ask you further, if you experience it once, is it enough? Or even for 1 year, or even part of your life? It will not be enough. Why? The reason I tell you, suppose you happen to visit one of your friends' resort and you spend 3 months there on a private island of your friends where there is all luxury. You experience a rich hospitality. But deep down in your heart, what would you say? I wish I was also as rich. No? So experiencing is not enough. To become rich is more important. Divine experiences are great. It's better than merely believing. Experiences are better, but becoming is greater. So, through these spiritual practices, we keep evolving from belief to experiencing to becoming, and a stage would also come when you say, I have had enough of this becoming. I transcend this becoming also into a state of being. You're no longer juggling with experiences and becoming, no more such torturous exercises. Students are sitting here, but where are your minds? Where is your mind? Where is your focus? It would have been better if you were outside. I don't mean for everyone. When we are absorbing knowledge, even the present with attention, you'll grab something. Grabbing past knowledge or the ancient knowledge system with such a mind that keeps wandering, I don't think you will ever to absorb that, and I don't ever think that you'll be able to pass it on to the future generation. And I see the tragedy already. It will not happen in our lifetime. You need a critical mass of some youngsters. We have to reward them. See, even yogis, they need carrots. Some level of temptation is required even for yogis. If nature did not plan for samadhi, a blissful state, who would meditate? No one would meditate. Retention of knowledge, following a certain credential, I think we have to give them carrots also. Students will not be motivated otherwise. And so I have to learn this because we have to provide that because. I've, I think I have covered what I wanted to say so far. It's not enough that we carry the ancient knowledge forward. We have to expand on it. You know, the ancient knowledge transfer was in a seed form, like the passwords or the scientific equations, E equal to mc square, right? Or the equation of velocity. So to me, the certain verses in Gita or Upanishads, they are in a code word, they are coded. When you say Sat Chit Anand, just by repeating Sat Chit Anand or just by saying Aham Brahmasmi, no one arrives at blissful state, nor anyone becomes Brahma by reciting Aham Brahmasmi. But there is so much of truth behind it. If we decipher these passwords or the coded words, what does it mean when you say Sat Chit Anand? When you arrive at the truth, Sat, Chit is your consciousness. It flourishes. And when consciousness having reached that truthful state, you attain bliss. So pathway is given through such coded words, but we have to think over it. You have to meditate over it. You have to contemplate over it. And one day, this knowledge will arise, not in the form of words, but you will feel. When you arrive at such a state of sat, you'll be eligible to see, oh, what this consciousness is all about. You'll also be able to see what is it that contracts my consciousness. What is it that allows me to expand the consciousness? You will also be able to see what makes you peaceful, what makes you happy from inside. So, our ancient knowledge system is great, but we have to now make it more scientific, see, not just a belief system. And when you arrive at such calm and still and intuitive state, you must have seen children performing Brighter Mind. It's an intuitive exercise. Nothing escapes your vision then. See. And when such individuals undergo certain level of training, scientific research, they don't juggle, they don't work too hard. It becomes very easy for them, see. I would like to walk you through this process of meditation, which you have already done. But now we'll meditate with transmission. So you'll be able to notice how meditation changes when we incorporate transmission or pranahuti. Pranahuti is something that stimulates, gives fuel that the Gyan vehicle to transport us into wisdom, the. And that's how it becomes dhyan. And once you are in a state of dhyan, you will not be able to know how you entered into samadhi. It will just happen just like that, all of a sudden. We should not try so hard on it. Just have a gentle attention towards the heart that the Lord or the divinity is there already in my heart. That's attracting my attention inward. And be receptive to this transmission, which I will share with you. So if you're all ready, have your attention towards the heart, gently close your eyes. And those who don't like to meditate, you can go outside. You have the freedom to go now, Once I start, don't disturb others, please. And sit in a way so that you don't touch each other. Otherwise, that will disturb you. You ready? Okay. Okay, please start meditation. That's all.
Wow. So, just three words. That was ruminative, evocative, and meditative, definitely. Thank you so much. The space is filled with different energies now, and it's all divine, feels light. Thank you so much for the session. And now, can we have some voices from the audience? Students, it is your chance to throw some questions. If there's anything that you would like to ask, a small Q&A. Yes, please. Can we have the mic there?
Good afternoon, sir. It's a very big opportunity to be here and talk to you. So, my question here is lately I have been in my class and my faculty asked me how to manage stress. So, I said meditation really helps. And one question that she asked me was, how do you stay like focused to have the clarity during meditation? And everybody was like, okay, cleaning helps, meditation helps, but no one can stay focused during it because thoughts keep coming to your mind, and I didn't really have an answer to that. And the thing is, people mock me because they are like, meditation doesn't really help you and tranquility is not a real thing. But I believe it's true, but I don't know how to make them believe that, because I really want my loved ones to feel the peace that I feel during meditation. So my question is, how can I comprehend them and make them understand this? Thank you, sir.
Welcome to the world of struggles in life. Trying to convince others, you'll always fail. Don't try it. Practice yourself. It's for yourself. And once they start seeing the change in you, once they start seeing the trajectory of your life, then they'll say, oh wow, she's gaining something, she's moving somewhere we could not go. For example, somewhere around your age only, I started meditating in 1976. While I was studying third year of pharmacy in Ahmedabad. My students, fellow colleagues, my friends, they used to make fun of me. He closes his eyes all the time. I used to sit in a hostel, and I would meditate for about 20 minutes in the morning, 20 minutes in the evening. So they would make fun of it because they don't know what one goes through and feels during meditation. But now, when we were almost 25 of us meditating in pharmacy college, and when the professors were seeing the change in our life, they began to see. We didn't have to convince them. They started meditating, including my dean, She is now 99 years old. Now, when you see these students who were meditating then in 1976, and you see their life now, their families now, versus the students who were not meditating, their families, their children, their grandchildren, you see a big difference. I don't know, which field of education are you in?
I am from English department, and my department is School of Liberal Education.
Oh, I recommend you read a book called Biology of Belief by Dr. Lipton, Brian Lipton. It will teach you all about how our lifestyle impacts our environment, inner environment, how it has impact on our genetic manifestations, and how life changes simply by thoughts. Little by little, how the epigenetic changes occur. So it's a very scientific book, and I highly recommend you all students to study that. See, that's again our ancient system now packaged in a new style. See, I give you an example. He's a doctor, and he did a research. He was earlier a professor in some university in United States, and he decided to conduct how the external environment changes the genetic manifestation of the embryo growing in mother's womb. Suppose if you are married to a person who is so violent, so she selected some families from Brooklyn who lived in ghetto atmosphere. Ghetto means there is always violence, shooting going on everywhere. You don't know whether your husband will return home or not, and if he returns, he'll be carrying a gun, putting it under his pillow, and going to sleep. So imagine a pregnant lady waiting for her husband, not knowing how, in what state of mind he'll be coming. She's always in distress. And if she's pregnant, what happens? Because of that stress, sympathetic nervous system gets activated. Stress hormones gets activated. What happens as a result? The blood flows more in the arms and legs. But it is diverted now, diverted from the stomach area, from the lungs, from the brain. So now what happens? Embryo that is growing within mother, because of that stress, maybe had nothing to do with the outside, but because of the stress hormones, blood also reaches out to the limbs in the embryo. It is diverted from the brain, it is diverted from the lungs and the digestive system. So, a mothers to be who remains under stress, child born will have a lesser developed brain system and lesser developed digestive system. Now, when the brain frontal cortex does not receive enough blood, what happens there? Your thinking ability also gets retarded. Blood rushes more in this amphibian brain. You become more reactive. Such children develop ADHD and reactive brains. So you see a simple thing like your stress during pregnancy triggers the effect in the future, the children. They had nothing to do with your mother's stress or husband's way of life. And that's why in our Indian traditions, in olden days, moment in-laws they learned that daughter-in-law is pregnant, you know what they used to do? Send her Maike, means her parents' place, where she can have familiar and peaceful environment, spent in godly prayers, bhajan, kirtan, reading holy books. So she is generally pampered, as they say. And because of this, the parasympathetic system remains very active. Means children born to such mothers will be calm, more intelligent, So stress must be avoided at any cost especially during pregnancy. It not only affects you, it affects the future generation also. So you have to remember that. And students trying to meditate to remove stress, I don't recommend. Once one professor asked me, my PhD students are getting stressed out because of this. They have these Viva tests before thesis submission. So why you want to remove the stress? Let them go through stress. They deserve it. So why do you say so? I say, look, if students don't get stressed, they will never study. Stress is required. Let them go through hell. They have to study. And if you study, then there will not be stress. But doing meditation will be harmful for your studies. If the only purpose is stress, but meditation can also help you. If you use meditation correctly, it will make you more intuitive and more intelligent, actually.
Okay, any more questions?
Greetings, sir. Myself, Kanika. My question to you is that I am a second year BTech student. So I have to deal, like we all have to deal with a lot of projects, deadlines, and assignments. And we have classes from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. So how can meditation practices help me? How can I accommodate them in my daily life routine?
Well, do you have 20 minutes in the morning?
I do, but the thing is that whenever I sit idle, there are a lot of thoughts. Like the only thing I can think was I have to meet deadlines, I have to go to class. The calmness and the chaos just keeps going on.
That's why you need it the most. Because it is meditation that will help you calm down, actually. It will take time, but when you meditate with this pranahuti and a preceptor, you can download our app and meditate with the app. See, it's called Heartfulness Meditation app. And you have a lot of free advantages there too. We don't charge any money for that. You have free magazines, you have few literature you can go through. And people generally have this notion that thoughts, you see, when out of 24 hours, do you rest your mind except for sleep? You don't. You are always on the go all the time. See? And when you try to sit for only for 20 minutes, the mind that is used to run around, you're trying to say, stay quiet, it will not happen. So you need to slow down a bit in daily life and settle inside. And that will have meditation, few minutes every day will definitely help you. And we're going to have a preceptor, means a trainer here in this institute. Thanks to Mrs. Parasar's initiative. She has volunteered to get trained so that you all can receive meditation sessions on a regular basis and see how it revolutionizes your life.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Any more questions there? Yeah, please.
Alrighty then.
So, Pranam Daaji and all the respected dignitaries and everyone present here. Firstly, a token of gratitude towards you for being here and telling us that spirituality and science don't exist, are not mutually exclusive, but at a deeper levels, they exist in harmony with each other. So my question is, sir, through this modern era, what role did this helpfulness act, like app, just help us evolve us students to being mindful, emotionally resilient, and socially attentive leaders in this modern world?
See, all the three aspects of life you have just mentioned, they have everything to do with your awareness. When Krishna in Gita talks about yogaha karmashu kausalam, meaning through yoga, all your activities, if you are a doctor or an engineer or a software programmer or a housewife or a driver or a cleaner in the house, if you take meditation seriously and attain state of yoga, all your activities, according to Lord, he says, becomes perfect. Kausalam kind of yoga karmasu kausalam, meaning all your activities in that state of mind will attain perfection. So, and I have already shared with you how to attain that state of yoga through meditation and cleaning. The means are given to you. It's up to you how to use it. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
And my special thanks to Galgotia family for having us here. And we have a long way to go. Students, as I said, it's your job now. It's your responsibility to carry on with this torch of light and pass on. Unless you learn it yourself, you won't be able to teach to your children or your friends or your family. I think one boy has a question. Go ahead.
So this is Saksham Saxena. I'm a third year student of BTech. Sir, you talked about Satchitanand and all the Indian Asian philosophies. सर मैं जब अथर्ववेद पढ़ रहा था तो उसमें 29वां सूक्त है, शायद मैं भूल रहा हूँ, पर उसका जो सीधा सीधा अर्थ निकल रहा था वो ये निकल रहा था कि कामनाओं से ही सब कुछ है, कामना ही लेने वाली है, मनोरथ ही लेने वाला है, मनोरथ ही देने वाला है, और हे कामनाओं सब कुछ तुम्हें ही समर्पण है। लेकिन सर जब हम लोग बात करते हैं डिज़ायर्स की, तो हम लोग अक्सर, जब भी मैं किसी अच्छे मतलब सुनता हूँ, किसी स्पिरिचुअल लीडर को सुनता हूँ, तो वो अक्सर ये कहते हैं कि डिज़ायर्स को हमें नहीं रखना चाहिए अपने पास। तो हाउ यू सी दिस, एंड सर हाउ यू अलाइन वेस्टर्न फिलोसफीज लाइक एक्जिस्टेंशियलिज्म, nihilism or absurdism with the Indian philosophy?
Lovely. I admire your questions. It is a mature thinking, and I'm proud of you, boy. Thank you. I also had a lot of confusion. Everyone says don't have desires. Don't become slaves to your desires. But how would you proceed in life? For example, you would like to eat something, right? Okay, you go to canteen and there is some food available. When you go home and mommy has cooked something for you and said, no, mommy, I want only pizza, then there is something wrong. Our job to fulfill our thirst, our hunger, passion, which leads to desires, can never ever be destroyed. Without passion, you cannot have compassion also. Passion, compassion, hate, likes, dislikes, love, they are all have a certain level of energy. When you love, it carries energy with it. When you hate, that's also energy, because you know energy can never be destroyed, it can only be transformed. It is up to us. Now the desire has aroused in my heart. What do I do with the desire? Transform it, mutate it, and make it better. You can have desires, nothing wrong with it. If the desire is there for emancipation, desire is there to ennoble the lives of somebody else, nothing wrong with it. So it depends what you do with your desire. Nothing wrong with it. Many people say your mind is a monkey and you should not trust your mind. But without your mind, how can you do research? Isn't it? So we have to train the mind. And the only mental gym that we have in our hands is meditation. Through this struggle of playing with thoughts, slowly you are taming your mind. Like that ego, many people say your ahankar, garv, swabhiman, all these things, they give different names. Many faces of ego, they say ego is also very bad. But nothing is bad or good. It depends how you use that ego. Suppose you know how to play flute, and having played the flute, the audience is on there. They give you standing ovation and say, "Wow, wonderful! You did wonderful job." Now, next day, if you have to play the flute all over again, you will not be satisfied with your yesterday's performance. You will say, "I would like to do better." That is your ego. You're utilizing your ego for improvement. But to say at an entire University of Galgotia, nobody is better than me, right? Then that ego is arrogance. So it depends how we use desire, how we use our mind, how we use our ego. So everything has, the perspective.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
Is that all? Thank you so much, Daaji. Thank you so much for that absolute food for thought and enlightening us with more conscious living. And now it is our turn to reciprocate the sentiment. May I kindly invite Honorable Chancellor, sir, and CEO, sir, to present, sir, with a token of thanks from our side. And can we have the memento, please? Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much for gracing the occasion with your auspicious presence. We are truly enlightened. Thank you so much for those nuggets of wisdom. Thank you so much, everyone. And now we can proceed for a tour at the iOS Center. Thank you to the audience. Thank you, everyone. You have been very kind. Thank you for the patience. Thank you so much. Done. Students, kindly be seated. Let the procession walk first, and then you can